it's Deja with Knit and Crochet Ever After, and today I have a new limited time free pattern. It's the Smooshy slippers, and they're so smushy I can barely hold them together. So these are the newest pattern in my paid pattern shops, but it's not paid yet. They are for a limited time free. So if you are new to my channel, you don't know. I'm like, you would know. No, you wouldn't. You don't know that recently, starting kind of right at the end of 2021, now 2022, I'm doing some new stuff. I'm trying to give back to my supporters and my subscribers and my likers and my notifiers, that before I release some of my paid patterns to be bought, I am releasing them for free on this channel. So that means that you get this normally paid pattern for free for a and this one's super limited time. So I hope you have hit that notification bell and are checking this out immediately, because this is going to be the shortest one yet. So if you have not subscribed and hit the notification bell, I highly recommend it if you like free stuff, because I give away a lot of free stuff, and I do giveaways too. But these free patterns are very limited time. Enough with that. Let's talk about the pattern. So the Smooshy slippers, I am in love with this Lion brand Go for Faux yarn. I've used it as accents on a couple other slipper patterns, and it's so soft. Like, I just keep making more slippers out of it. It's so soft. This is made with the colorway Chinchilla, and you can kind of see it's got like this two-tone. So it's got like a black thread base with the white fur, and it's just so soft. And then the bottoms I made, so they wouldn't get ruined walking on fluff. I did my other favorite for slippers, which is the Lion brand Homespun. I have links to everything that I used in the description, so you can find it easily. But these things are so soft. It's got a little, it's hard to see because it's so fluffy, but there's a crisscross right here. So yeah, slide right into there and you're all set to go, as you can see in the pictures. These things are, I don't know, I just love this yarn so much. It's so soft. So I'm going to, in this video, because it's a limited time free pattern, this video will always be up for help. I'm going to talk about working with the Go for Faux, because on the accents it's really easy. You do like maybe 1 or 2 rows and it's pretty easy to use. This, you're going to be working in the round, and it is super difficult to see the stitches with this yarn. So I'm going to give you pointers on how to use it so that you can make this, and then I'm also going to give you construction information on how to put these together. So even if you miss the limited free time, you can still purchase these. That would be super supportive, so I can make more videos like this. But this video will always be up so that those helpful tips will be there for you. So if you download it and a week goes by and the free period's gone, I'm not saying it's going to be a week, probably shorter, just a hint, then you can still come back and watch the video when you need it. Or if you purchase this, if you see this in a year from now and you purchase the pattern, this video will be here for you to use. So that is it. Get the pattern while you can. If not, please purchase. It totally helps me out, and we'll get started on working on these. So before I start showing you the tutorials, we're going to make 4 bases. So 2 in the Homespun, 2 in the Go for Faux, and then you're making 4 straps per the instructions. So they're a little different for each strap. So the instructions are going to kind of talk about how you're going to be able to work into these stitches that are super difficult to see, and then also how I get my slipper extra fluffy. So keep watching and we'll go start. Okay, so this is how we're working into the faux fur. I love the faux fur. I hate crocheting with it. I haven't knit with it yet, actually. I should try knitting with it and see what I think. That might be a little easier. It's probably a lot easier to see. The problem with the crocheting is that you can see this is a chain right here. You can kind of see the chains because it's kind of like the yarn has like this black thread on the bottom and then the fur coming out, and it gives it kind of this two-tone look, which I really like. They have other colors. They have like straight white. This probably helps you see it a little bit better with this black, but I just like the color. I like the two-tone of it. But as you can see, I've done some stitches already. I could not tell you how many I've done. I think I've done 4. I can kind of see the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, looks like I did 4. So it's really difficult. You have to pay attention to what you're doing when you're working with this yarn, and you can't really see what you're doing, so you have to feel for it. So when I'm working, I have my stitch going and I can feel where the stitch is coming out of, and then I have to look and feel where the next stitch goes. So I can feel a little bump where the 2 chains connect. I feel this chain where this stitch is coming out of, and I can feel my next chain. So I insert my hook, pull up that loop, and do the single crochet that this pattern calls for, and I can still feel that hole of where I just made that. So then I can go again, find the little bump, and then feel for my next chain. You really cannot see these stitches. It is almost impossible, so you have to feel for your stitches. It's going to be the only way to work this, especially when you're coming around and working on the opposite side of the foundation chain, which you do for this first round. You're gonna have to feel for that and kind of feel exactly where you go. Thankfully, it's a little forgiving with the pattern, so if you make one little spot out of, or 2 stitches in the wrong spot, it's not super noticeable. If you do 2 or 3, then you're probably gonna have to frog out and start over, and I've had to kind of multiple times start over because it's so difficult to tell where you're at just frogging it. Like, you may not be able to tell how many stitches back you've gone, so be very careful, work very slowly, and feel for every single stitch. Those are my super tips for working with this yarn. I need to go do some knit because I bet you it's way easier. So I'm going to keep on working on this sole. Once I finish it, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you kind of what I do to make it look a little better, because right now it's kind of like a matted, cattail. So I'll show you what I do to try to hide kind of the actual stitches a little bit better. So I will see you in a bit. Okay, I've finished the sole. I wanted to show you just a little trick, and it's not like, it doesn't make a huge difference, but I think it just makes it look a little bit neater. So this is the one that I just finished, and you can kind of see like how, working in the round, you can kind of see those lines coming around the edges, have a lot of that black showing. You can see the furs kind of stuck in the stitches there. And then I have this one where I did my little trick, and it's not really anything special, but you can see that it's got the edges a little bit nicer, the middle a little bit fuller, so you can't really see the stitches, or working in the round you can't kind of see those lines. So all I did for that trick is get out my handy little comb, and I just kind of brushed through and kind of pulled out all of that fur that's stuck in those stitches. So and it's kind of like very relaxing as well. I like doing it. But along these edges, you just kind of sit there and pull all those little stitches out and make it nice and fuzzy again. So it's just a little extra zhuzh, that you do to the slipper before you get going with the next portion. You can weave in the ends before or after this. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I like doing this. It's very relaxing. So get yourself a little comb, and you can kind of fluff it up a little bit if you need to. So let's go discuss attaching pieces. Okay, so once you finish all the pieces of your slipper, you're ready to construct it. The pattern gives you the instructions for the topper. The base and the topper get sewn together first. So I used quilting thread, and it's white quilting thread, and if you really look, you might be able to see a little bit of it. And the reason I use that instead of the yarn or this yarn is so difficult to weave in. It is so thick that you only will get it through a couple of stitches before you need to go and cut it, because it's really hard to weave it. So you're gonna have a little bit of difficulty, but it's so worth it because it's so soft. But the actual sewing together, I suggest either fishing line or quilting thread, anything that's thick, a thick thread that will not break easily, but not the yarn, because if I did it in this yarn, you would see the stitches on top of here, and I don't want that, unless you like that. If you wanted to see kind of a little stitch pattern around, you could do that, but I didn't want to see it. I want that to be just kind of like a protective barrier with the ground so that I don't mess up my fleur, you know, too bad. And then once we get those, we have our two straps, and it's super simple. You're basically folding it under just a tiny bit, so it's even like difficult to see because the fur just kind of comes together, but you're folding it under just a tiny bit and then sewing that piece all the way through to the base, so you have a nice secure join. And you're going to do that the 4 times, so you can kind of place it where you want. I've placed it kind of right at where it starts going straight on the edges. Let's go this side, that'll probably be better. So we have our rounded, and you can see kind of right where it starts going straight down is where I started the actual straps, and they're like right next to each other. So there's like a tiny little gap between, but pretty much they're like lined up right next to each other. So you can put them on your feet and see exactly where you want to lay them out, or kind of just follow that layout and then just stitch. And I do back stitches for all of this, so it's not like whip stitching, because the whip stitching would show. Back stitching, you can Google it. I might have a video, I don't remember. I think I might, I don't know. Back stitching is very simple though, so if you Google it, you'll find it very easily. But the back stitching makes a nice secure join, and it's not really visible when you're done, so I like the back stitch. So that is how you put these suckers together. I love this fur so much. It is so soft. You guys need to go in the description and check out this yarn because it is the softest stuff. Definitely download immediately if you have not already. It's gonna be gone fast. I will just tell you that much. You're not gonna have much time to download this pattern. It will be for a very limited time. So remember, if you don't want to miss out on these, hit the like so I make more, hit the subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when they are released. You can also follow me on Instagram or my blog or Facebook, because I release it there as well the same time that I release here. So whatever you prefer, get it done so you don't miss out. I am Deja with Knit and Crochet Ever After, and thank you for watching.